Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the third part of the video for the trapper build. Previously I discussed the advantages and disadvantages, attributes needed for being a trapper, skills and stats, items, enchantment, and cards. Now I'll discuss the Aesir Runes, Advanced Runes, Oracle Mirror, Blessings, Praise, Pets, and any strategies that may help you out for being a trapper. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so first I'll discuss you the Aesir Runes. We all know that Aesir Runes is one of the source of making our character efficient by giving overall stats needed like damage, stats, skill improvements, etc. So here are the lists that you need to get prior to any other runes. So first we have the fire damage. There's 4 of it. It will increase the fire damage by 8%. Then we have the magic damage increase. There's 3 of it. And of course it will give you 3% magic damage increase. And then we have the int. It will give you plus 7 int. We have dex. There's 10 of it. And it will give you plus 12 dex. And then we have the snare damage. That's six of them, and it will increase the snared target's damage by 70%. And then we have the frost trap. There's 5 of it. It will increase the next water attack damage by 40%. And then we have the claimer trap. It will increase the next fire attack by 35%. And then we have the detonator. It will increase the damage by 35%. And as you can see, there's a note about the detonator one. It will give you a special attribute for your detonator skill. I'll show that to you later on, with the strategy part. Next, we have the landmine. It will increase the damage to snared target by 50%. And then we have the trap research. It will increase the overall trap damage by 15%. And we have the trap refine, as it will give you additional resistance of slow, freeze, and stun by 15%. And we have the wind walk. It will increase your it will give you range damage reduction by 10%. And we have the Warg Rider. This is very important if you're planning to use the Smoky card for PvP purposes. It will increase your movement speed by 15% once you activated 3 of it. Then this is also one of the most important runes that you need to activate, the Exceed Break. Once you activated 5 of it, you'll get plus 10 int and dex. And then we have the electric shock, the wind magic damage base on death. It will increase the damage by 40% once you activated 5 of its runes. And then we have the nature's protection for higher durability. It will give you 4% normal attack reduction. And then we have the max HP, the HP rune. There's 6 of it, and it will give you 12% max HP increase. We also have the Vit, 3 of it. That's plus 3 Vit. And lastly, we have the Trap Nightmare. It will increase the damage of Claymore and Frost Trap by 25% to slip targets. Okay, so if you have successfully activated all of these runes needed, you need 559,600 guild contribution and 1,694 gold medal. The rest of your remaining guild contribution or gold medal, you can apply it to other runes that you haven't activated yet. Okay. Okay, so next we will discuss the Blessing of Goddess. We all know that this is one of the main source of damage and durability. So we have three categories, and I have been sorted out the list by priority based on my personal opinion, but it's still up to you as to what you want to improve first. So first, under attack card, we have the Ignore Death. As much as possible, you need to maximize this one because with the Trapper build, it's very hard to increase your Ignore Death. And next, we have the Magic Penetration. And then next, with the Neutral Damage, that will improve your Comet Trap skill damage. And then next, the damage to Demi-Human, you know, for your PvP purposes. Next, with the Death card, it's up to you. There is no specific priority needed for the Death card. But if you will ask me, I would suggest you to start with the HP, with the Death percentage, MDef percentage, and physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction. The rest, it's up to you. And then for the elemental card, first we have the wind damage. That's for your electric shock skill. And then we have the earth damage for the landmine skill. And then we have the dark damage for the dark matter trap skill. And we have the water damage for your frost wrap. For me, that's optional. I never put any card in that elemental's attribute, because if you will check the frost trap damage, it's very low. It's around 150%, if I'm right. So yeah, it's not worth it to put your card in on that part. So next, we have the fire damage. You know, that will improve the damage of your Claimer Trap skill. The rest, you can put it in on any elemental damage reduction, you know, for higher durability. Okay. The next, we have the Prey. There's only 3 things that you need to max out or improve on this part. That will be the HP Blessing. That will increase your maximum HP. And we have the Survive Blessing for your physical death. And we have the Rest Blessing. That will, you know, improve your magic defense. The rest, it's not needed. And if you're planning to put it in to 150 Prey, that will cost you 38 million Zenny and around 69,000 guild contribution. And if you will maximize it by 200, that will be 102 million Zenny. And you need 118,000 guild contribution as well. So it will take time, but you'll be able to maximize that one later on. You know, if you will keep on playing your character daily. Okay, next I'll discuss the Oracle Mirror item. There are a few items that you can use, but for me, if possible, I would recommend the Stick of Wicked Thought, plus 15 for the maximum damage output, as it will give you plus 15 magic penetration. But honestly, this is very hard to get, since you know you can only get it to the EC dungeon. And alternatively, you can use the Magical Fox Grass, as it will increase your neutral damage by 10% for your Comet Trap skill. For PvP, you can use the Aubrey Bow plus 15 for additional demi-human damage increase, or Holgrahen's Refined Hammer for a chance to destroy the target's armor and weapon by 10%. And for MVP, hunting, you can use the build Gisarme, for the higher MVP damage output. So yeah. Okay, next I'll discuss the advanced runes. This is also one of the main source of damage and durability, and I'll start with the skill runes first. First and top priority to have is the Craftsman's Rune, as this will be your main trap skill. At least get a trap generated by 7, the more the better. Same with the second attribute, but the number of traps generated is much more important than damage. If you can get 2 gold star of this, you're very lucky. And the next rune will be the traps specialization rune. The only attribute you need to focus on is the first one, the damage increasing effect. Okay, second attribute is optional, but for me it's useless, since basically what you will mostly use is the comet trap and the minefield skill. Okay, so next we have the forest elf rune. This is one of the most important rune when it comes to PvP, because for example, your hidden status with your smoky card is gone. Either, let's say, it's because it expires, or someone managed to track you. Okay, this rune will give you a chance to survive to any attack you receive for you to be able to regroup. Okay, because since it will give you a hiding chance effect. If you remember, I said you can still plant your traps and still get hidden, and yeah, your traps at the same time as well. So next will be the Dark Knight Trap Star Rune. Okay, this is an S star rune, a fourth job. For the fourth job, if you can get 3 gold star of this rune, you're a god. But if you have a bad luck like me, at least get the third attribute, so that you can still attack the enemy unit that's in the black hole state. And one of the attributes you need to focus on will be the second one for PvP purposes, and the first one is for the PvE purposes. Okay. Next will be the Rapid Shoes rune. The only attribute you need to focus with will be the second option, as it gives a huge boost for your durability. This is anti-ADL, MP, or SP build, or Chronomancer, or any other job that has a deadly single physical attack. Okay. Lastly, we have the Death Trap rune that will increase your int and trap damage. Okay, and I wanted to add the other rune that's optional, the shadow tracking rune. Okay, this will permanently give you a 5 to 10 meters vision effect. To an enemy that's hidden. This is only for yourself. It cannot be shared. And if you got damage, it's either you'll have a chance to apply tracking prey effect on the target, or they will get snared, which will give you a chance to set up your traps at them. Okay, and then for the stats rune, there are so many stats that you may consider, but for me, these are the runes that you must have. For the buff rune, you must have the int, dex, and vit rune. Okay, and we also have the attack rune, and those are armor breaking attack rune, illusion attack rune, incantation attack rune, and also the poisonous shadow attack rune. Okay, for the poisonous shadow attack rune, it will boost your comet trap damage And you can also use the order rune that increases the elemental attack damage. And for the death rune, we have the HP rune, spell, and still death rune. Okay, that's what you will mostly use when you need to activate the skill runes that I mentioned before. Okay. Okay, so next I'll discuss the pet that can help you out in battle. Either for damage increase or for survivability. It's still your choice as to what pet you want to use, depending on the situation. So those pets are Osiris or Obiano, Obiano pet, for resurrection. You can also use the Alice pet for ignore death. You can also use the Martin Scavenger. This is what I mostly use for 5% magic damage reduction and plus 10 int. Well, Moonlight Flower, that's a 3-star pet with 2% magic penetration. And we can also use the Orc Baby or Orc Warrior for taunt purposes. Again, it depends on the situation. You can also use the Skier pet for 5% movement speed and plus 5 int and dex. You can also use the Genryusai pet for plus 10 dex. You can also use the Raccoon Apprentice for plus 10 int and plus 5% HP. And the Hildis Lucy for 3.3 damage increase to all monsters and plus 5 int strength and dex. Okay, so again, it's still your choice as to what you want to use, what pet you want to use with, Okay. Okay. Please be reminded as well that if you are planning to switch to Trapper build from other job like ADL or Mage, you may need to consider resetting your Blessing of Goddess card for the best damage output. Because there are some attributes that's no longer useful to Trapper build, like crit damage, ignore ram death, holy damage, attack, magic attack, etc. So you may need to top up if you're really serious with the migration to Trapper build. So we're done with every information you need to know about the Trapper build. Next, I'd like to share you my best practices, tips, and strategies that may help you out if you're planning to switch to Trapper build. Okay, so first, focus getting the Minefield skill rune, as that's your main skill if you wanted your Trapper to be efficient. Okay, once you have a decent Trapper build, focus on your item build, as most of your damage increase comes from your items, especially the main weapon and accessory. The rest will be improved slowly at the same time, like cards, Aesir Runes, praise. So yeah, and then don't hesitate to invest on ignore death items as well, especially if you're struggling getting the 160% ignore death, since that's the max ignore death needed if you wanted to to fight higher MVPs. Okay, and I'll discuss something about the prepare for elite skill as well, because under prepare for elite, especially if you're farming only, I would recommend you to use the following buff skill. These buff skills, okay? First will be the True Sight, and then Wind Walk, Exceed Break, and Unlimited Stars. That's it. Why? It's because it's SP consuming. It will exhaust your SP discharge or hot meal SP. Not unless you have a gacha item, that will restore your skill every after. I mean, that will restore your SP every time you use any of your skill. There are some gacha items like that. But if you don't have that kind of item, then I would recommend you to follow this. Okay? And but if let's say you're at PvP or MVP hunt or dungeon party, that's time you can put the other skill buffs like Stars Guardian and Cyrogenic Cyclone. Okay? Okay, so next, when it comes to your prepare for elite skill as well, you can also put the hide skill. The hide skill as well here. Okay, don't forget to put that as well. And if let's say there's a stripper with the other PvP, most of the time your accessory will be stripped, and since the card comes with it, and you'll lose the hiding skill as well. Once you put your once you successfully worn the item again, you need to put the hiding skill back on prepare for elite. Don't forget that. Okay. Second will be during MVPs. In order for your traps not to get detonated, even if a mobs or MVP steps on it, always use detonator skill first before using minefield or comet trap skill, and then hit the detonator skill again to detonate all of your traps at the same time. Okay, this is very useful, especially during Endless Tower, Oracle Nightmare, Purgatory Undead, especially with the Goblin Leader. You can one hit that Undead before it summons its minions. You can also use this strategy during TTL runs. I find this very useful. And make sure that there's a check on the box on the detonator skill as well. Okay. Let me show you that. Here, make sure there's a check on this one so that you can use that kind of strategy with your detonator skill. Okay. Third, with your adventure handbook, only focus with HP, def, MDef, racial, and elemental attributes. Don't exhaust your resources too much to other things that's not needed. Just for us to be specific with the elemental attributes that I'm referring to, I'm not referring to the Men Black card or those kind of cards, because that's useless to us, because our damage output is magic based. Okay, so only racial card works on us. And fourth, in regards to your positioning during MVP hunt, wherein there are some cases that the MVPs are aggressive, like in Oracle Nightmare, always keep your distance at maximum. Okay, maximize the Vulture's Eye skill, passive skill, since you have additional 50% range for it. Okay. And during PvP like War of Imperium or War of Crystal, don't hesitate to fall back a little bit so that your position will not get compromised, especially if you're attacking them sideways. Okay? Trapper is mostly effective during defense. Okay? And during Walk or War of Crystal, wherein I call this a blockade. Okay? It's like, your objective is to lessen the reinforcement of the enemy. If let's say they died during guild versus guild clash. Okay, and always place your traps to a place where they mostly come from, not to a place where they plan to stand and hold their position, as most of the time that's where they place their land protection skill. Okay, and lastly, during PvP, if you always want to keep yourself hidden with your smoky card skill and attack at the same time without being found, don't use your dark matter trap skill. Always control your character manually, and don't rely on your auto attack skill slot, especially if you don't have the Edgar card in your equipment. It's either you'll spam your minefield or comet trap skill, or use the detonate strategy. Your choice. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. If you have any question or suggestion, feel free to comment down below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my page as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video as well. So thank you for watching, and see you again. Cheers.